What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Apex AMA. I'm your host, Lawton Ho, here with Verified Investing, and I go live every single day. The markets are open, and sometimes when they're not, to answer your questions. Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. This weekend, what did I do this weekend? On Saturday, my brother's been really into opening cards. Like, I love opening sports cards, but my brother's been into opening like Pokemon cards. So I drove him around town, spending way too much money on like card packs for him to open. My brother just moved here, moved in with me from overseas. I haven't spent much time with him, so I was like, whatever. If I spend a couple $100 on Pokemon cards, it's not gonna affect me. But he'll remember it and he'll enjoy it. So we went to a concert / rave, and it was awful. And then yesterday, what did I do yesterday? So Sunday, played some pickleball with Dr. B in the rain. But anyways, guys, how was your weekend? What's going on, everybody? I see your questions coming in. So before I continue, guys, I would just ask you, and I ask you every single time, and I appreciate you guys every time you do this, just to check to make sure you guys are subscribed to us on YouTube. It would really seriously help us and help the algorithms know that you enjoy our content, right? Just helps the algorithm know that, hey, this is content that you like, this is content that you want to get notifications about and hear about in the future. So if you could check if you are subscribed, and subscribe to us on YouTube. So the way this works, for those of you who are new, you can scan this QR code down below and ask me a question. You can also go to the verifiedinvesting.com website. And ask me your question there. With that being said, guys, what questions do you guys have? Mars says, hi, Lon, heavy weekend, right? Yeah, it was pretty heavy. There's tons and tons and tons of stuff. Alexander says, is natural gas due a bounce since we've been going down for quite a long time? Let's take a look. Let me check my charts on natural gas. Let's see what we got. So for natural gas, for me, see, I do have this kind of downsloping trend line, right? That it's kind of trying to break up and out of. You have this beautiful downsloping trend line that if you can break above it, let me change this. If it breaks above it, yes, it absolutely favors a move higher. Additionally, I have this line of support on natural gas. So how I got that trend line. So if natural gas were to come down a little bit lower, about 5% lower, I'd consider being a buyer there. Consider an entry around this $2.62 level. Okay, that's where I'd likely enter that. What other questions you guys have for me? Okay. Yusuf says, hi, thanks for watching insights. Could you go over KWEB? Do you think now would be a good time to get in? Nope, I absolutely don't think so. KWEB has gone up in a straight line, basically 38%. It continued higher. I'm not a chaser. Like, if something is up, I'm not going to get into it and look for it to go up, right, even higher. It's not my trading style. I prefer to wait for it to pull back. So for me, an entry on KWEB, I'd wait likely here or down here. 35.47, 34.51. You can take a picture, screenshot, or watch this recording back later to tell me I was wrong. but that's those are likely the levels that I'd be interested in getting into KWEB. Jessica says thoughts on TSLL. Target of $24. $24. So this is a leveraged ETF on Tesla, right? Obviously. So let's chart Tesla. That just means you want to go long Tesla. And Tesla is, I can't speak to the $24 level exactly for a target, but I'll be honest with you. I do like this. I do like what I see from Tesla. It does look bullish if you can break up and out of this wedge. You had a previous wedge, right? So you had this wedge that it broke out of, came back into, retrace, and pushed out of. But now you have this even better wedge. This is the wedge I'm watching. I, in particularly, love this Tesla chart. Think it does favor a move higher, right? So here I'm bullish on Tesla. If it can break above, right? You want to see break above, and then confirm, and you enter on the break or the retrace, right? There's a couple of places you can play Tesla. And if you're really, really like risk, which it sounds like you might, Jessica, TSLL could be that one for you. But I like Tesla. It just matters on how risky you want to be with your trade. Yeah, pretty much. Juan says, hi, Lon, can you tell me a little bit more of the VXX? What do they mean that it resets itself? It's a monthly day. Sorry for the bad. No problem. So all you need to know about the VXX is it's a volatility. It's based on the VIX, VIX, which is the volatility index. So the VIX is up. The VXX will be down. And for the VIX, no, just kidding. If the VIX is down, the VXX will also be down. The VXX is just the futures. They open at a different time than the VIX. I believe it charts differently, slightly differently. But all you need to know is the markets are currently going up. As the markets continue to go up, if they turn around and start coming down, the VXX will pop, right? So when you're buying VIX, VXX, VIX, VXY, or VIXY, all the charts look the same because they all charting the volatility index, and you want markets to turn around. If you're expecting markets to go down, then you're buying the VIX or any of the different ETFs surrounding that VIX. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, Mara, is a heavy-ish weekend. Not too bad. Nothing I can complain about. It's still fun. I got to hang out with a couple coworkers outside of the office, which is pretty nice. And we did have our steak dinner. I believe that was on Thursday. I don't know if I talked about that previously, but yeah. Another quarter steak dinner for all the traders here. Wes says, as always, you're killing it, Lon. Thanks for the kind words, Wes. You're killing it with these questions. Question about your long position in stocks. Yes, I'm in smart money stocks and ETFs, and it says that your current position is 895. That's not my position. That's Garrett's position. The list currently is up to date. You said in your AMA that your long position is in the upper sevens. So yeah, my personal position is different from Garrett's. What you're referring to is Garrett's position on his smart money stocks and ETFs. I do not have an official position on SOXS. I just have literally an account with nothing in it by SOXS. So our averages are going to be different. And it's different because I'm maneuvering a little differently than he would or he does. It's not going to be exactly the same. So, yeah, that's why there's some variation there. Wes says, question about Ethereum. Let's take a look. Wondering what the thesis is for shorting it. All the technicals all show higher move today in crypto video due to more power. So yeah, for me and Ethereum did make all-time highs, but it failed. It failed to hold it. It failed to close above these all-time highs. It pushed up, made all-time highs on Friday, pulled back on Saturday, pushed even higher yesterday, and has fallen even further from its highs, about 6-ish%. For me personally, and again, it's hard for me to speak on the positions of other traders because we may have different theses, even though in general we'll agree on most things. Like, we're each individual traders who trade extremely differently. I would likely target a move on Ethereum below $4,200. That's my target for Ethereum. So not too much further, about 10% lower on Ethereum. But it's just, like, he probably saw that Ethereum made all-time highs and failed to hold above that. That's a bearish signal. And even though we talked positively about Ethereum, here's the biggest thing about Ethereum you need to remember. Ethereum for me is a catch-up trade. Bitcoin was trading at its all-time highs, making new all-time highs, new all-time highs. And where was Ethereum? Ethereum was like under 2K. It was around 2K, struggling to pop up, struggling to make its way up to 4.85K, right? But now that it's finally caught up, it can pull back as Bitcoin also pulls back. Right. I hope that made like some semblance of sense. But yeah. Oh, my questions just disappeared. All right. AK says, hi, Lana. I was watching the day trade for a AI 16Z. Didn't get filled. Should I get filled? All right, let's take a look at AI 16Z. Yeah, for that trade, and that was a really good entry by Ben. The thing is, he talked about it, about his entry at the time. I-16 USDT 1123. Let's see where he got filled. He got filled here, somewhere here, and it did push up. Yeah, it did push up around here. So the question is, price got up quickly to 1130. Should I have entered at that price, or was it better that I missed the given entry? It's hard to say, right? I mean, you're talking about 0.5% higher, but I would say that if it depends on his target. I don't remember where his target was. I think his target was somewhere up here, right? So if he's looking for around 2.5% and you're entering 0.5% later, is it still worth it if you're looking for a 2% gain? Yeah, I would say in general that's okay, but even better, AK, I would say that we talked about that level so many times. We shared it on our charts that you should have just put that position in your brokerage so you would get filled ahead of time, right? Or just write it down, right? If you wait for us to enter it first, you could miss the fill, right? David says, how much does Garrett typically make per year on average with this swing trade? I would say around, it depends. It's like swing trading is really difficult because, let me take a look. It's hard because you have positions that are held longer and shorter. It's hard to kind of figure out. But if you look at his gains, like average profit per trade is around 10%, right? 49%. Okay, so if you take a look at it, we have a 49% portfolio return. Let me just share my track record. This is going to be easier than me trying to explain to you while looking at a chart. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so you can see for the year, okay, we're at about a 49% return on portfolio. Okay. In general, we're about, 65, 70% of the way through this year, like 60% of the way through this year, and we're at around a 50% return on portfolio. But that's only for closed trades, right? There's still trades that we're in. Some of them are in the money, some of them are out of the money, so it's really difficult to explain. And this is only for Gareth's service. If you look at the ETF trader, it's different. We don't have a portfolio return on there, but we have a profit per trade. So it's just, yeah. But, if you have any questions, it's likely available on our website. So please let me know if you have any more. Chad says, hi, Lawton. Hope all is well. I hope all is well with you, Chad, my friend from the UK. Bank holiday here in UK today. Cool. So for once, I'm not having to message during a work day. Awesome. We have a bank holiday on this coming Monday, actually. Please, could you give us your feelings on UPS? It has a bear flag, but remember you said when this happens near the bottom of the chart, it's less likely to play out than the top and the middle. Correct. Would you still, however, lean towards being bearish, or is it just a bear flag? Let's take a look. So yeah, UPS clear down move and uptrend. This is clearly favors a move lower. But the thing is, you had this, right? You had this nice upsloping trend line, did break and it did fall, but it only fell 1%. So it survived that one, right? Let's say we adjusted our trend line, right? Still bearish, fell down, closed below, looks super bearish, 1%, bounce back the next day. So it's continuing to push higher and just paid a dividend as well. So here's the thing. Let's look at UPS. How low could this realistically go? And we have to go back to the 2020 area. And realistically, we're looking at 2020 lows for potential downside target, right? Around $82.10. There's going to be great support there. So even though that this does look potentially bearish, right, you still have a great level of support down here. This is the COVID lows, right? You're talking about a company who's makes money based on sending packages, right? And they were getting decimated during quarantine because people weren't going out, they weren't sending stuff, right? And your max downside is around 6% lower. It's not bad, right? It's not too bad. We'll take that. So even though it looks bearish, right? This move down, bear flag. Oh man, sorry about that, guys. I'm not even tired. I just always yawn whenever I'm doing my AMAs. Sorry about that. Even though this is bearish, and you could say that it favors a move lower, it's like my max downside really is around $82. I'd be surprised if it fell significantly lower than that. So even if you went long here, your risk is around 6%, and your target, right, is going to be like what? What are you going to target? My buttons aren't working. You're going to look for a move like 20% higher, if not more, right? So it's a good risk to reward, risking 6% to potentially make 20+%. Luis says, hi again, Lawton. Thanks for doing this. Thank you. Hi again, Luis. Thank you for your questions. On RCL, do you see a pullback or will it gravitate towards double top? Yeah, RCL is kind of a beast, right? And what did I say? I saw this here on this. I wrote this on this chart. For me, on RCL, I had this move, and it actually did it right. had it go up, and I was like, this could be a bullish flag and breaking up and out of if you can break this down sloping trend line, and it did absolutely. So depends where it closed here. It closes. It's not exactly a topping tail, right? It's not a topping tail, right? But it could be a good reversal signal. RCL tried to push higher. S&P is flat, and RCL is down slightly. S&P is also down slightly. But you really want to see a retrace of this move. The question is, why did it pop up? Not sure. I mean, you don't have earnings for another 66 days. It did fall. RCL did fall significantly off of earnings. We're talking about a move lower, about 15% off of earnings, right? Just because the guidance wasn't all there, right? So are people suddenly like, oh, actually the earnings aren't so bad? Well, I'm not sure about that. For me, there's going to be major resistance here at 352 gap fill. If we can get above there, it's, looking like new all-time highs. Are only $3 higher, right? 1%, not even 1% higher from that gap fill. What I would say is if you're shorting RCL, this is what you don't want to see. You don't want to see an up move and sideways consolidation, particularly downward, right? It's a bull flag, even though it's at the highs of the charts, just like UPS, it does not favor a move higher, right? It favors a move lower. Could still play out. So yeah, for me in RCL, those are the levels that I'm really, really kind of honing in on and watching. Sarah says, how are you, Lawton? I'm good, Sarah. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend, Sarah. What is the outlook of BP, British Petroleum? And what about inverse head and shoulders on BP? Let's take a look at your charts, and then I will put it up on my charts if I agree with it, even if I don't agree with it. Not to call you out or anything. Okay, that head and shoulders pattern is technically valid. You're talking about a neckline like this. Where's your armpit? The armpit is... Sorry, guys. I'm just struggling to find this. This is like on a weekly time frame, right? Okay. This has to be the head. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to find this inverse head and shoulders pattern. On your chart, it looks... I would say it's valid, but I don't love it. Right? I don't love it just because there's so many, like, it has like two left shoulders almost. I'd prefer the smaller one. I'm trying to find this on the chart so I can show you guys. My apologies. Okay, it's down here. This is what Sarah's talking about. Essentially shoulder, head, shoulder. So really, really big one. A really, really big one. And it is valid. Yes, absolutely. %. I see the vision now. I got it. So let's draw through here, find that neckline. I like this shoulder more, Sarah. I like this shoulder, head, shoulder, right? And if this plays out, I apologize for butchering that for so long. If it does play out, that would be a massive measured move. You're talking about a measured move up 77%, 78%. So yeah, I love that inverse head and shoulders on BP. This one, I don't love. So Sarah had drawn one like from here. You don't need to draw that. It doesn't matter. Just use this one. Doesn't matter if the shoulder's a little smaller. Still technically valid, 100%. Love this head and shoulders pattern. Paul says, so how long do you hold VXX? I'm not currently holding VXX, but I know Gareth and every single trader out there is. I'm just not in VXX. Personally, how do you send me a chart? Absolutely, I'd be happy to show you. You go ahead and click this little camera snapshot and click on download image, right? Download that image. All right. Click on download image or copy image. Sorry. My brain is not functioning. Don't do anything I just said. Restart. Restart everything. Click here, click on the camera and click on copy link. Okay? Click on that camera on the top right of your trading view and then click on copy link. Download image will download the image. Copy the image, we'll just copy it. Copy the link and then you post it in the chat and then I will see it. My apologies, guys. I am like, my brain is exploding, slowly melting. Absolutely 100%. Let me go a little faster, huh? We only have 20 minutes left. I say only, but I see I have like 100 questions, so I apologize for that. All right, let's get it. Hi, Lawton. How are you? I'm good. I know you have a busy day, and I greatly appreciate you answering your questions. Of course, thank you so much for being here, AK. I really appreciate it. I recently heard Garrett talking about the AI day trading alert, and I would like to please clarify a couple questions. Okay, if I may. Is the AI day trading alert like smart money crypto service, or is it like some sort of bot I will have to configure? It's like the smart money crypto service. It will send you an alert when we get into a trade, but also it helps if you have it open. If you have it open in a browser, right in your browser, it'll send a pop-up. I'll show you what it looks like right now, actually. Don't tell anyone I'm doing this. Okay. I might not supposed. I might not supposed to. I might not be supposing. My brain is not working, as you can see. Okay. Let's take a look. Let me show you. It's a secret, okay? I don't know if I'm supposed to show you, but I'm going to show you anyways. So this is what it looks like, right? We have one for stocks. It's really, really slow day in stocks. No stock trades today on the scanner, but we have these crypto trades, right? And this is what it looks like. You can leave this on your side screen. You'll also get like app notification alerts and like email alerts when we get into trades. But considering it's day trading, you really want to have this open on a computer. You can toggle your notifications here, right? And when we get into a trade, and it looks like we literally just got into one, right? Or we got into one earlier. We're still in it, right? Still in a current trade. But you'll get the entry price, and then you'll see our take profit zone. And then once we reach our take profit zone, it'll tell you when we're in that zone, and then when the target is reached, it is what it is. Then it reached. And this crypto runs 24 hours a day, right? Because it is crypto. Of course, you can kind of turn it off if you're not interested. But and it looks like this was last night, and then starting this morning, we had one from IMX, ARB, Solana. We closed these trades in the last 24 hours, and unfortunately, we're out of the money only slightly on this one here. But same thing with stocks. So it's really, really cool. It will totally revolutionize the way that you trade. Be happy to answer any more questions about that or any other products you have. What is the amount of money to recommended to have an account to make sure to make at least a monthly fee? For stocks and ETFs, if you're trading stocks, I would say like 25K. If you're talking about crypto, probably like 10K. Nathan says, do you see Bitcoin and Ethereum still bearish? Where do you see support? So I did talk about Ethereum earlier. For me in Ethereum, I'm targeting a move down. Let's go to the daily so I don't look insane. I'm targeting a move down to the 4,200 level. For Bitcoin, yeah, I think it's likely coming down here to 109. 108, 109 level. Okay. Chat says, thanks, Lawton. You're welcome. Please give your opinion on Conagra. CAG, is this a buy level? Swing long at this level. So this is already past its COVID lows. It's trading on levels that it hasn't seen 13 years. Let's see here. Excuse me. Let's go here. Let me analyze this chart. Find some levels. Actually, not too far. Got really close to that level, actually. All right. Let's go back to Conagra's main chart, and I'll give you my levels. So it did pierce the low here on 1830. I would love to buy it at this 1826 if it came down back again. 1816, 1818, absolutely would love that level for a long swing trade, and I'd likely buy it every 50 cents or so. In fact, I will be buying this in my dividend trader if it comes back down around this level. 100%. Renica says, hi, Lon. Hope you're doing well. I'm all right. Hope you're doing well as well. I'm stuck short MP. $66. I missed my exit. Wondering if you can spot a pullback on the charts. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Around $75. That's my level. Okay, around $75 would be that target. But yeah. Sarah says, thanks, Lon. Is this chart showing a falling wedge or bull flag on the S&P? No, on XRP. It's not falling wedge. I think it's just a regular wedge pattern. This is just a regular wedge pattern, I'd say. I wouldn't say it's necessarily falling. You can draw it. Oh, man. I'm drawing it like this. And I like to use the wicks. I like to use candle wicks. Top or the bottoms of the wicks. This is just a regular wedge. I wouldn't say it's a bull flag. Up move. I mean, kind of, not really. I think it's just, I mean, it's like a bullish pennant, right? If anything, it is a bullish pennant. Because you have this kind of matches up here. Pennant, sideways, up move, sideways. Could be a bullish pennant, but it's still going to operate likely like a wedge pattern. For me, at least. Dimitro says, can you take XLM for me? Absolutely. XLM, same chart. Actually, like almost surprisingly identical to that. Almost an identical chart to XRP, playing in this wedge. If it breaks below this, I'm looking for downside, at least 5% lower to this double bottom, with the potential to come down here around 20% lower. Marco says, hi, Lon. Do any of the verified investing traders like yourself or Gareth use footprint charts or any similar tool to help with entries and exits? I've never used a footprint chart before. Let me take a look. Let me see if I can Google it and see if I can see what it looks like. Yeah, I don't use a footprint chart. I don't use one, and I've never seen the other guys use them. Mar says, last Friday I missed a long on Solana. Sorry to hear that. Contraire, I was short, got 189 TP, completely forgot. What would you do? So I was short and got even with a TP of 170. You're at 189. What I do? I mean, you're only out of the money, I'd say 3%. That's not bad, right, on Solana. I mean, if I was in this position, I think that the crypto markets generally are likely to see a pullback here. I think you at least are likely to get to your break even, but hopefully you're not too far in. I have this beautiful upsloping wedge, upsloping trend line that if it breaks favors a move lower. So if this comes down, like you're out of the money barely, like 3%. I think you're likely to get your break even. As far as whether or not you want to take it off at your break even, you could take some off at near your break even, or you take off half in the money, let the rest run. But I think it likely could come to this 173 region. Ryan says, do you have a saltwater aquarium? I live in a saltwater canal. I'm tempted to catch something and keep it as a pet. I have a. Did I talk about my fish? I have a regular aquarium. I have a non-saltwater aquarium. Saltwater aquarium, I know that it's a lot of maintenance. It's a lot of work. I have 2 tanks, but I have betta fish and a bunch of tetras. So keeping it simple. For my fish, I know fish people are kind of insane, right? That's the general, like, I guess that's the stereotype stigma around the hobby, the fish or aquarium hobby. So for me, I just want to make sure my fish have the best life possible. So I don't want to get too many, and I want to make sure I can take care of them, that they're well fed, that the pH levels of the water is okay, the ammonia levels are fine. So it's a lot of work. Fish are a lot more work than you'd anticipate. But I will say for saltwater, if you're really interested, you should have a professional set it up. Because even if you catch like I don't know, like a grouper or whatever, right? And you want to throw it into an aquarium, like I don't know if it'd be compatible with the rest of the fish. Fish is just it's all really complicated. But I want to get an axolotl, but that seems like an insane amount of work. So I might just get a couple turtles, hermit crabs, or a rabbit. Or I should probably just get a dog at this point. But anyways, Ryan wants to know what the pattern is at WRD. Sorry for my fish tangent. Yeah, WRD re-ride. You can't discern a pattern. Well, awesome, because I can. You have a beautiful head and shoulders pattern. Absolutely beautiful. Sorry for the accent. That was uncalled for. This is the little shoulder, right? It's kind of ugly. Shoulder's kind of ugly. You don't really like it. You probably wouldn't invite him to your party, right? But it's still part of it, right? It's like family, right? You have cousins that are kind of like weird. You don't get along with them the best, but still valid, and they're still family. So there's still head and shoulders is still valid on We Ride. With that measured move, let's not do that. Let's check that measured move. what it would be should it break. You're likely to see a move. Your measured move is down 37%. However, and I haven't done these. I'm so sorry to the production team. Teachable moment. Sorry. I said earlier, and Chad reiterated that for me earlier. Yeah, bearish patterns, particularly ones as bearish like this, favoring a move 77% down. Unlikely to happen, less likely rather to play out at the lows of the charts. Could it play out? Absolutely, still could play out. Even though this is 36% down, maybe it goes 50% on the way, and you get down to like these pivots down here. This low pivot around 723 could still happen. So I have that as a pattern on WeRide. Also, WeRide's kind of like a meme stock. Like this thing moves like insane amounts. So it's not something that I love trading, despite my somewhat abrasive and erratic personality. I'm a very conservative trader. But I have this beautiful downsloping trend line that we're trying to break up and out of. So it looks bullish, actually. There's a bearish head and shoulders pattern, and there's a bullish upsloping, downsloping trend line. If you can close above here and confirm, I think we could see a move at least 15% higher on WeRide. Peggy says, thank you for sharing your success with stocks. Absolutely. Happy to do that. Congratulations. Thanks so much, Peggy. Thanks for taking my trades. I'm a beginner trying to learn. How do you determine to trade long or short each day? For example, your Friday's gain. How much was your initial cost, and how much do you recommend initial to trade for a beginner? Thank you. So we give you position sizes. So we said I went in that, I believe it was a 1/10, right? 1/10 position on Friday, which is 10% of my our portfolio. I'm trading on $1 million account. So I put $100,000 in there, right? 100K in. So if we put in 1/10, I would say that we would recommend you put in 1/10 of your cash portfolio, your day trading portfolio. Okay. And how do I determine when to go long or short? When things are down, we'll go long, and when things are up, we'll go short. That's a really easy way to kind of get in there, because we trade the inverse of what's happening. Go against the trend. Lynn says, good morning, Lynn. Can you give your short levels on Lynn? It's too many charts there. I'll give you short levels, but I gotta be quick so I can answer some other people's questions. It depends on your like target, swing trade, day trade. I'm just going to answer to the best of my ability. My short level on Netflix, I'll start a position here and add here, right? That gives yourself about 5%. Anywhere around here, that's where I'd short. Where would I short? Carvana, double top, 413. Google. For me, Google's a little more difficult. To find a shortable level on Google, I got to draw these trend lines. I would short it on this trend line up here, around 5% higher, and you're looking somewhere around this 222 level, 222 to 224. Wes says, for Ash, is this bear flagged negated because it's taking too long to play out, considering entering confirmation? Bearish? No, I would not say that's bearish. Yeah, I would not say that's bearish. Mark says, hi, you're not tired, we're boring. No, you guys are not boring whatsoever. Oh, we have so many questions, guys. I'm going to kind of speed things up a little because I'm not supposed to be on here anymore. Chat says, no question this time, Lon. Just want to say big thanks to your daily presence with the show and all the teaching. I'm sure you're aware anyways, but in the UK, investing isn't anywhere near as common thing for the average person compared to the United States. So it's hard to find people to talk to the markets about other than my dad. So these shows really help. Thanks, man. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much for being here day in and day out, Chad. I really, really appreciate it. Carly says, hey, Lon, what's your personal opinion on NVIDIA stocks after earnings, up or down? I think it's going to go up and then it's going to fall. Guys, there's so many questions. I'm so sorry. I can't read all these. David, Tiger, I'll just give you a quick bullish or bearish. It's too small. I'm not trading it. I think it favors a pullback. I think it's coming down to $11. You're welcome, Lan. There's too many questions. I'll answer one more. Sorry, production team. Luis says, Lawton, besides CAG, what other dividend paying stocks are you holding? Dividend trader? Are you considering? I'm in like UNH. I've been in UNH for a while. Yeah, I'm in UNH. Love it. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. I really can't answer any more questions. I'm so sorry, guys. If you could, guys, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. Consider giving us a subscription on YouTube. Really helps the algorithm. Leave a comment. I read the comments. And there are more questions, but I can't answer them. But if you have anything else that you want me to answer that I didn't get to today, and I know there's a lot I didn't get to, so I apologize, please send them to me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is my name, Lawton, followed by the word investing. Lawton Investing. You can just send me a DM, send me a follow. I will do my best to answer your messages. All right. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Best of luck trading, guys, and I'll be here tomorrow. Same time, same place. Have a great day, guys. Take it easy and have a good one. Bye-bye.